You need to watch this if you struggle with feeling alone, even in a crowd. We all know the feeling. It is a moment of pure connection. Imagine a group of friends sitting around a crackling bonfire. The night is dark and cool, but the fire pushes back the shadows. Laughter flows easily, like a gentle river. No one is trying to be the smartest or the funniest person there. They are just being themselves, together. Each person feels seen. They feel heard. They feel like they belong to something bigger than just themselves. This is the magic of true community, a safe harbor in a sometimes stormy world. This sense of belonging is a basic human need. It is as important as food or water. When we are held in a space of acceptance, we can finally breathe. We can let our shoulders drop. We can stop pretending. In these moments, we share stories from our hearts. We talk about our dreams and our fears without judgment. The air is filled with a quiet understanding. It is a silent promise that says, "You are safe here. We have your back." This shared strength makes everyone in the circle feel a little taller, a little stronger, a little less alone in the world. Look closely at these moments of unity. You will see that they are built on a foundation of simple kindness. It is the small nod of agreement. It is the patient listening when someone is struggling to find their words. It is the shared silence that is comfortable, not awkward. These are not grand gestures. They are the small, steady bricks that build a fortress of support. This is where we learn what it means to be truly human, not in isolation, but in relation to one another. The warmth we feel comes not just from the fire, but from the genuine care radiating from each person. This is our natural state, our soul's home. We are wired for connection. We are meant to live in these circles of support. It is where we find our courage. It is where we heal our wounds. It is where we remember who we are when all the noise of the world fades away. This feeling of being part of a we is a powerful reminder that we do not have to navigate the complexities of life on our own. It is a beautiful, powerful truth. It is a feeling we should always strive to return to again and again. But then, something shifts. The easy warmth begins to cool. The ego steps in, softly at first, then with more force. It whispers little lies into our ears. It says, "You need to protect yourself." It says, "What will they think of you?" Suddenly, we are no longer listening to our friends. We are listening to the fear inside our own heads. We start to measure our words. We start to weigh our actions. The open, honest sharing is replaced by a careful performance. We are no longer part of a circle. We are individuals standing side by side but miles apart. Misunderstanding is the fertile ground where ego grows best. A joke is taken the wrong way. A comment is seen as a criticism. Silence is interpreted as disapproval. Instead of asking for clarity, we retreat. We build a wall, brick by painful brick. We tell ourselves we are being strong. We tell ourselves we are protecting our hearts from being hurt again. But these walls do not just keep others out. They also trap us inside, alone with our assumptions and our growing resentment. The connection that once felt so real now seems like a distant memory, replaced by a cold and lonely silence. The tension becomes a quiet, unwelcome guest in every interaction. Conversations become short and superficial. Laughter feels forced. We avoid eye contact. We talk about the weather, we talk about work, we talk about anything except what is really happening between us. The ego loves this distance. It thrives on the drama of being misunderstood. It tells us we are right and they are wrong. It feeds on the feeling of being a victim. This self-righteousness is a heavy armor, but it feels safer than the vulnerability of admitting we are hurt or confused. And so, we drift. We choose the lonely safety of our fortress over the messy, unpredictable reality of a real relationship. The space between us fills with unspoken words and unresolved feelings. The beautiful circle of support is broken. Each person is now an island, surrounded by a sea of silent hurt. We forget that we were once a we. All we can see is the you and the me, and the painful distance that now separates us. The ego has won, and the price of its victory is our connection. Then comes a moment of choice. It is often a quiet, internal turning point. One person decides they can no longer bear the weight of the silence. They can no longer live behind the wall they have built. The loneliness has become more painful than the fear of being vulnerable. So they decide to do the bravest thing a person can do. They decide to speak their truth. They decide to lay down their armor, even if it means they might get hurt. This is not an act of weakness. It is an act of incredible strength and courage. Imagine one friend turning to the other after days of cold silence. They take a deep breath, and their voice might be a little shaky. They say something simple, something honest. "I miss you," they might say, or "I think I misunderstood something and it has been bothering me." Or even just, "Are we okay?" This is not an accusation, it is an invitation. It is a hand reaching across the empty space, hoping to find another hand to hold. It is a quiet plea to put the ego aside and find the way back to each other. This act of vulnerability changes everything. It shatters the illusion that we are fine on our own. It admits that we need each other. It shows that the connection is more important than being right. The person speaking is not demanding an apology. They are simply opening a door that has been closed for too long. They are offering their own heart first, showing their true feelings without any guarantee of how the other person will respond. This is the ultimate act of faith in the relationship, a bet on the power of honesty. The air shifts with this simple, honest statement. The tension that filled the room begins to dissolve. The other person is given a gift, the gift of seeing the real, unshielded heart of their friend. They are no longer facing a wall of anger or defensiveness. They are facing a human being who is hurting and wants to reconnect. This brave, quiet truth is a crack of light in the darkness. It is the first step out of the lonely prison of the ego and back onto the path of connection. As Mrs. Vijaya Thota often teaches, when one person chooses to be vulnerable, it creates a safe space for others to do the same. This is the first step toward authentic connection. Honest words, spoken with intention, begin to dissolve the walls we build around our hearts. With each open exchange, defenses soften and understanding grows. We recognize the courage it takes to speak our truth, and we honor it in each other. Forgiveness begins to blossom, nurtured by empathy and a willingness to move forward. As Mrs. Thota advises, forgiveness is not about erasing the past, but about learning from it and choosing growth. We can let go of the burden of hurt by consciously releasing resentment and embracing healing. Once we create space by releasing our own shadows, we can allow space for others too. Embracing imperfection, we remind ourselves that mistakes are opportunities for learning and connection. We all have moments when ego takes over, but self-awareness allows us to course correct. Compassion, as Mrs. Thota emphasizes, is the nourishment that helps forgiveness and trust flourish. By seeing the other's struggle and pain, we practice empathy and deepen our bonds. We learn to view the story from their perspective, expanding our understanding. Perhaps they were facing challenges we didn't see. Compassion invites us to consider this. Maybe they too were feeling insecure. Recognizing this helps us respond with kindness. A positive mindset shift allows us to say, "I understand," instead of, "You were wrong." This is how we begin to heal the wounds created by misunderstanding. We remember that we are all human, each doing our best to navigate life's complexities. As we release resentment, we reclaim our peace and breathe freely once more. This is the journey of coming home to each other, stronger and wiser. The reunion is not about returning to the past, but about stepping into a new chapter together. We arrive at a deeper, more meaningful connection, built on mutual respect and growth. Our bond is now stronger, having been tested and renewed. We celebrate the resilience of our connection, rebuilt with honesty and forgiveness. Our joy is deeper. Trust, once restored, becomes the foundation for even greater growth. We have witnessed each other's vulnerability and chosen to support one another. This is true connection. Our shared journey, with its challenges and triumphs, becomes a testament to our growth and unity. Ultimately, as Mrs. Thota reminds us, the greatest fulfillment comes not from being right, but from being together. The strength we gain from honest, supportive relationships empowers us in every area of life. With this foundation, we find the courage to face new challenges and embrace growth. These relationships become our safe haven, a place to land, learn, and rise again. The circle of connection reforms, brighter and more resilient than before. Guided by Mrs. Thota's wisdom, we move from the isolation of ego to the warmth and vitality of soulful connection. And we remember the most empowering lesson of all: love, authenticity, and growth are always worth the risk of being real. As you move forward, Let every moment be lived with purpose and meaning. Choose to show up fully, connect deeply, and make each day a reflection of your truest self. The journey is yours. Embrace it with intention.